dear learners, today we are going to see in detail, or we are going to see or learn in detail about how to prepare ghee at home. In previous lecture, we have already discussed about the introduction of ghee, the long history of ghee, then the definition of ghee, how the ghee is defined according to the PA Petition 1976. Then also we have seen the composition of ghee. And today we are going to see in detail the various methods which are used for the preparation of ghee. So in this slide, the flow diagram of ghee preparation is given. Ghee may be prepared either from cream or the milk. So the first step, that is the milk. On both sides, the different steps are given. We have already discussed, we have already learned the makhan preparation, and by using that makhan or the butter, ghee is prepared. So here in this lecture, we are going to see in detail about the ghee preparation by both methods, that is the traditional method of by the Desi method or the creamery method. So for the preparation of ghee, the raw material which is used, that is the milk. First of all, we will see the Desi ghee, how the ghee is prepared by the Desi method. First of all, milk is taken clean, sweet, which does not contain any extraneous matter. That milk is taken for the preparation of ghee. Then that milk is fermented with the help of the suitable starter culture. But in the Desi method, whatever the previous stage the ghee is, or whatever the buttermilk is there, that is used for the fermentation process. And when the fermentation process is over, that milk converts to the curd. And when the curd is formed, that curd is taken for the churning process. It means by the indigenous method. We have already seen this step in the makhan. And when the curd is churned, it converts to the Desi butter. Okay, so here in this step, we will get the butter. When we churn the curd, we will get the Desi butter, and the process in detail we have already seen in our previous lecture. And whereas on the other side, the milk is taken, and that milk is the cream from the milk is separated by using the centrifugal machine. When this milk is separated, we will get the cream, and the same cream is ripened or unripened, or it is directly taken as a cream for the ghee preparation, or it is allowed the ripen by using here the ripening process is carried out by using the suitable or the desirable starter culture. And then it is this ripened or this ripened cream is allowed to the second step for that is the churning, and this churning is carried out by the Western method. Whereas in this process, the curd is also churned here, but the indigenous churners are generally used here. We have seen the video how the butter, the churning process is carried out. Okay, so in this indigenous churning, we have seen that there was no control over the churning, and it was in the opposite direction. The churning was in opposite direction. Whereas the churning in Western types, the churning process is controlled. Uh, but it means that how much churning should be given to this screen. It is decided, and only uh, therefore this churning, that is the Western churning, is the control one, whereas the churning, the indigenous churning, is not controlled. Okay, the next step after the churning process, when the screen is churned for the optimum time, then it converts to the butter. When churning process is completed here, it converts to the butter. Here also, when the churning process is completed, it converts to the butter. But this butter is called as the Desi butter or the Makhan, and this butter by the churning by the Western churning, it converts to the creamery butter. When the when this cream converts to the butter, that butter is taken for the clarification or the pre-stratification or the continuous method. The same butter is also taken here for the next step. And when in Desi type, when we are preparing ghee by the Desi method, when we are preparing the ghee by the Desi butter, Desi, when we are preparing the ghee by the Desi method, this butter is directly taken into a karai or the mud pot, and it is heated. After the heating, when the heating process is completed, then the clear fat decanted from these vessels, and it is taken into a separate vessel. So in this way, the final product, after the decantation process is over, the final product that we get into that separate vessel, that is called as the ghee. Whereas in the creamery butter, that butter is taken for the direct clarification or the pre-stratification or the continuous, and the final product obtained, that is called as the ghee. Then this ghee is allowed to cool, and for the formation of grains into that ghee, and then it is packed, stored, and then marketed. So in this way, ghee is prepared by both way, that is the traditional way and this is the Western way. Okay, by using the curd, by using the cream. So this is the these are the two methods by which the ghee is by uh, prepared by the direct clarification, pre-stratification, and the continuous method. So and now we are going to see in detail the how the creamery butter, the ghee is prepared by the creamery butter, and the ghee is prepared by using the Desi butter. So this is country or the Desi method, and this is the creamery butter method. So let's see in detail about both the methods. Now we are going to see or learn in detail about the Desi or the country method. The first step is the receiving of makhan, and in previous lecture we have already seen about how the makhan is prepared. The next step is the heating of the makhan. The same makhan, when the good quality of makhan or the makhan which is accumulated, that is taken into a mud pot or the metallic vessel, and it is heated into these vessels or the mud pot, and the maximum moisture is removed from this makhan, by continuously stirring comes scraping process. The moisture generally removed from that mud pot or that metallic vessel, and the final stage is judged by the experience that the whether the ghee is get ready or the not. Then when the maximum moisture is removed from the makhan, the heating should be stopped and it is allowed to cool to the room temperature. When it is cooled to the room temperature, the decantation process is generally carried out, and the clear fat which is obtained there in this mud pot or the metallic vessel, uh, by applying the decantation process, the clear fat is removed from this mud pot or the metallic vessel in separate vessel, and then it is stored, and the final product which is obtained, that is called as the ghee. So in this way, desi or the country method, the ghee is prepared. First point, that is the receiving of makhan, means the makhan is taken, and that makhan, after taking this makhan into a mud pot or a metallic vessel, it is heated to remove the maximum moisture from the makhan, and a stage is judged when to stop the heating. So it is totally depends on the experience of the person who is preparing this ghee. So he or she can judge the when to stop the heating. Then when we thought that the makhan, the ghee is ready, in that case we have to stop the heating and it is allowed to cool. And by applying the decantation process, the clear fat is removed from this mud pot or the metallic vessel in a separate vessel, and it is stored. And the final product which is obtained in that separate vessel, that is called as the ghee. So in this way, ghee is prepared by desi or the country method. Now we will see uh, the actual video of the ghee preparation, how the ghee is prepared. So this is the traditional or the desi method of ghee preparation. This is the makhan, which is prepared by using dahi, and dahi is after the churning, it converts the desi butter. Okay, so the makhan is taken into this karhai, and it is continuously heated by the continuously stirring and scraping process. So it helps to remove the maximum moisture from this makhan. Say the heating process is completed now. Say this is the ghee, maximum moisture is removed. This is the process of removal of ghee. Actually, she is straining the ghee. Huh? After the straining process, we will get ghee into this pot. Okay, so in this way the ghee is prepared by the